Hey everyone, how's it going? It is time for another thrift find and pickup video and shopping, all sorts of stuff. It's only been a week or so since my last video, and garage sale season has officially started in Guelph, so I actually found some stuff. Kind of first time out, first Friday evening or afternoon actually, and Saturday morning, so that was pretty cool. So let me start with, I guess last Sunday was the Barrie video game swap exchange in Barrie, Ontario. Never been to it. I always hear good things. It is a bit of a drive for me to Guelph. It's about an hour and 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So I kind of hummed and hawed about whether I was going to go, and ended up sleeping in and actually didn't leave until it was probably almost noon. So I didn't get there until almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Anyway, I'm glad I went. I actually got some really good deals. Saw a lot of people I know, ran into some non-video game people that I know, which was just funny. Had a nice talk with Gamer Alley, Matt, CJR, Charlie, and Joel, Jam Kennels. So bought lots of things from various people. Again, just kind of looking for cheap Nintendo games, so like $5 games, $4 games. So I was going to go through those first, and actually I'll tell you how I started off the day. It was kind of interesting. Was I actually don't normally buy for this because it's actually usually really expensive, but I actually saw two TurboGrafx 16 games for $10, which I did not pay $10. Final Lap and Pac-Land. And anyway, I got these for $7.50. $15 for the pair. Pac-Land is an absolutely horrible game. Final Lap is actually not bad, but my thing was TurboGrafx games, when I do see them, they're typically really expensive, so I just wanted to grow the collection a little bit, so I grabbed those two titles. Then I actually did a couple of things. Let me see if I have these in the right order. Yeah, so there was a guy selling Nintendo games for about $2 and $3 each, so I couldn't turn that down. So I grabbed have these out of order. Nothing exciting. Bases Loaded for NES, and I think I also picked up, I'm gonna get these wrong probably, Jeopardy. These are just super common, so those are like $2 and $3. Then I picked up Super Scope, the Super Scope game. I have the Super Scope for $2. And Dash Galaxy in the Alien Asylum. This was $5. And then I actually ended up, what if I'm missing anything? I don't think I'm missing anything. Anyway, I ended up talking to another vendor, and I brought a box of stuff and just left it in the back of my van, and kind of mentioned some of the stuff I had. It was just Wii titles. I think I had a copy of Battletoads in there. So there are other odds and ends. Anyway, he asked that I bring it back in, kind of, so towards the end of the show, I actually went to my van, brought it in, and he ended up paying me close to full price, or what I was trying to get for it anyway. So I ended up with $85 in my pocket. Out of that deal, I traded $15 worth for just some common games again that I didn't have. So Bases Loaded 2 second season, nothing exciting here. Othello and Karate Kid, and then I ended up with $70 cash. So that totally covered all my expenses, made some money, which was nice. And then my friend and coworker, he was looking for a Game Boy Color, which I'd seen earlier, but actually didn't have enough cash on me to buy it. So I ended up completing this deal. I was actually out to my car, ready to go home, and then realized, oh, I have cash in hand now. So I actually went back in, and everyone was closing up. It was now 4 o'clock. People were packing up pretty quick. Found Joel, and he still had one of the Game Boys, or his I guess neighbor at the other table had one of the Game Boys still, Game Boy Pocket. So got it for $30 with 2 games. Got the Game Boy to my coworker friend, and he gave me the 2 games that were in it. So Monopoly for Game Boy and Robin Hood Prince of Thieves for Game Boy. So I actually didn't have these. So thank you. So that was, I guess, a finder's fee. So yeah, it was a really good trip to Barrie. Glad I went. I think the next one will be in the fall. Might go again. There's some other cool vendors there. I actually saw some vintage toys. I should have bought, there was a Slimer Ghostbuster that I probably should have bought, but I didn't. Anyway, some cool shirts and stuff like that. But anyway, it was a good trip. So I was probably there for two hours and then an hour and a half each way. So that's a pretty long haul. But anyway, got some good games out of it. Ended up making money, which was just funny. I just threw stuff in the van unintentionally. I kind of have a box. I'll call it my to-go box, where it's like stuff that I know I have for sale or trade. So I just threw it in the van. I'll talk about that later because I actually did it again today. So anyway, got back to Guelph. I don't know if much happened throughout the week. I think, I can't remember now when I actually went and looked at this, but I ended up going over to Value Village area, and I don't know if I got anything. You know what? I might have found this that day. So this is actually pretty cool. It's not video game related, but it's vintage. This is a 1990 Ninja Turtles. I'll probably hold it upside down. Ninja Turtles towel. So nothing like a used towel from Value Village, but it's pretty cool. So it's yeah, 1990 Mirage. This was $2.49. It has a very, very small tear in it here. You can barely see it. Anyway, I have never seen a vintage towel at Value Village. I always check the linens. I have had success finding Pokemon blankets in the past, like 1990 Pokemon blankets, some sheets, but I've never found a towel. So anyway, really excited. It's a theme I like. My wife is in roller derby now. She's in her rookie year. So her nickname or derby name is Ginger Turtle. She's a redhead, so Ginger. She also likes gin. And she likes turtles. So Ginger Turtle's her derby name. And then I thought, you know, this towel, if I'm not using it, she could use it to, I don't know, wipe down her derby gear or something. Nothing really exciting, but I actually really like the towel. I love that it's red and it's just got great colors. So for a 28-year-old, 29-year-old towel, it's looking pretty good. So for $2.50. So I thought that was an amazing deal. Then I also picked up actually 2 Hot Wheels. I don't buy Hot Wheels like I've mentioned in other videos, but this one caught my eye. It's a Dukes of Hazzard General Lee, which I do have one of these. And then it actually had what I think, if I'm probably wrong, kind of looks like the ZZ Top car. And this is old. This is like 1978, I think it is. Probably can't see the year on it now. Yeah, anyway, it is old, Hot Wheels. So those were just in a loose bag. So I grabbed both of those. And then, yeah, that was kind of it for thrifting, but that was cool just to find the towel. So I actually went over to Microplay, which is actually like half a block up the street in Guelph. And actually, lo and behold, found 2 more cheap TurboGrafx games. So World Class Baseball I picked up. This was $7. And Power Golf for $7. And it actually came in the case, which I thought was interesting. So I don't have any TurboGrafx games in the case. Didn't have the instructions, but then I got home. It turned out it was the case for Keith Courage, which they had in the shelf with the instructions. So they must have mixed it up somehow. So I own Keith Courage, so now I have the case for Keith Courage. So that was cool. So 2 more TurboGrafx games added to the collection. And then I had a coupon for $5 off a used game. So I actually grabbed Chrysalis for Nintendo. So I didn't have this, and this is a great game. So I like to go to Microplay just to check out if they make mistakes pricing things, is usually what I try to do. And then the coupon was a great deal. So they throw those in the little flyers that you get in the mail. And I rarely use them, but it actually worked out this time. So that was kind of my Barrie Game Exchange and a few things thrifting. Then I actually went back. If you follow me on Instagram, I already did a post about this, but found some really cool items. The very first thing I found when I walked into Value Village. Super excited to find this. was Tragically Hip, fully, completely on cassette. I'm a huge Hip fan. I couldn't believe this was just sitting there for 99 cents. It actually looks really clean, so someone wasn't a Hip fan, was not listening to it over and over again. So I was excited to grab that. While I was there, I grabbed the not so great band Milli Vanilli. So Girl, You Know It's True. Reflection. Another Canadian, Tom Cochrane, Mad Mad World. And Rod Stewart Unplugged on cassette. So I grabbed those. And then it actually found some other cool stuff. This is a 1994, June 25th specifically, Jay's Maxwell House Max Coffee Mug Day. So I have some really old vintage Jay's mugs, but this was pretty cool too. It's nice, clean logo, super clean, looks never used. So I grabbed that. And back in the toy section, this was awesome looking ship. This is 2004 Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter. It's opens, it's got everything was complete. I actually thought it was missing the cockpit lid and it was sitting on the shelf behind it. It's missing the missiles. I think it shot 2 missiles at the front. Has a little droid section here, so that comes off and you can put a real droid in. I haven't tried that yet, actually. Let me see. I assume they fit. Sort of. I don't want to break this one because it's actually really valuable, so we will not try that. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so really cool. Glad to find that. And this was $4.50. So yeah, droid goes back in. Really cool. Like I'm glad to find that. For a modern Star Wars toy, it's pretty badass looking. Seats like yellow inside. So really cool. So grab that. And then just to top it off to make the day extra awesome, sitting in the bag is a Nintendo GameCube Wavebird. It's my second one I found at Value Village. Totally works, of course, no receiver. So I yet to find a receiver. And when I find these the second time, I spend about 20 minutes looking through every bag trying to find that receiver. And you think I can find it? Nope. But still, this is better than the other one I found, actually. So super excited to find that. So that was a great day of thrifting. Then I think a few days later, this is actually a Polly Pocket 1992 Bluebird stamper. I don't collect Polly Pockets, but I've sold them in the past. So this is almost complete. It's missing the bicycle. There's babies in here. What's unique about this, I don't know about Polly Pockets, but every piece is a stamp. So not only are these stamps, there's 4 of them, these are unused, completely unused. And the stamp where the ink is still has the plastic on it. So I don't know if you can see that in the, I'm gonna lose all the guys. But anyway, there's an ink pad in here, a red and blue ink, and the plastic is still covering it. So I have this listed on eBay right now. I have it listed at $80, hoping it goes for that price. I spoke with a Polly Pocket collector today at the toy show in Kitchener. He thought I was a little high. He actually was an expert, I'll say, in Polly Pocket. He had a huge collection himself. But anyway, we'll see. I've successfully sold these in the past for top dollar. So it's really clean looking. And like I said, it's only missing the bike, so it's otherwise complete. So hope to move that pretty quickly. So this was only $6. So I'm trying to sell it for $80. So that's would be a very nice profit. Okay, so that is it for thrifting. This past Friday, I'll say garage sale season officially started. There's a church near my work that has a all weekend garage sale. Starts Friday at 3 o'clock. Thursday, I thought I saw the sign and then didn't see anything in front of the church. Friday, I went going to work. I saw the sign. And by the time I got out of work Friday, I had a meeting, so it was probably after 4 o'clock. So there's a lineup out the door of people trying to pay. And basically they just make up a number when you go to pay. It's for charities for the church. So I went in, and the very first thing I saw, which is by far probably the most valuable thing, was just laying on the table was Funko Pop Gandalf the Grey with hat. This fetches a pretty good premium. I do not collect Funko Pops, but I do sell them if I find them. Or valuable ones, I should say. So this was $1. So I have it listed on eBay right now for 50, I think is what I'm asking. Well, I'll talk about that later. Forgot to bring it to the toy show today. Anyway, so I had to look around. There's kind of a lot of just, I'll call it junk, but anyway, these were all $1. So this is an old, I had this when I was a kid, Sesame Street 1, 2, 3 storybook. This should probably be from like 78 or something like that, around there. I don't think I found a year in it. 73, yeah. Anyway, cool Sesame Street book. This is an old Trouble game from 1965. Again, it was $1. And I'm actually trying to sell these now, just locally. The Money Game contains real money. The real money is not in here anymore. Looks complete. Again, that was $1. And last thing was so I guess I bought 5 things and I spent $5. This is a in the box Garfield mug, travel mug from back in the day. Felt bottom so it doesn't slide on your dash of your Cadillac or Coupe de Ville or whatever your giant car is. And it's got Garfield driving the car. So that was $1 in the box and everything. I don't know the year on this. I'm going to assume it's from the 80s. Everything with Jim Davis, I realized, just says 1978. So it makes you think it's older than it actually is. But anyway, yeah, in the box. So $1. So those were my purchases at the church garage sale. Trying to sell Gandalf, trying to sell the board games. Gandalf I should be able to sell. So that was Friday. So that was kind of the kickoff of garage season in Guelph. I used to think that it's this sale coming up in a couple weeks at the Evergreen Senior Center, but the church usually has theirs first. And then what they do is they have a bake sale, and then they also refill everything the Saturday morning. They had some cool VHS tapes. I got rid of all my VHS, but they had like boxed hard plastic shells where someone had like done up the cover like they were going to rent them. So they were kind of cool. They had like Top Gun and Back to the Future, I think, like that. I almost bought them, but not for $1. Not when I gave my away. Anyway, so Fridays at EB Games is $5 Fridays. Actually, I forgot some stuff, but I went in. They had a $5 Star Wars socks, and you buy one get one, so it was $2.50. So I got Stormtrooper socks. I forgot to bring them down, and Rey socks, and it was because the Star Wars trailer was released. That's why I think they were doing $5 Star Wars items. Then they actually had $2 shirt promotion on. So I was actually at the cash paying, saw that they had $2 shirts, and then prompted me to go look at the shirts. For $2, I actually got David Bowie shirts for my wife and my friend. And then I looked through the shirts and got, actually I'm wearing one, Cuphead and Mugman. This was not $2, but it was $4.50, so it fits awesome. And then I also got a Nuka-Cola shirt. So this was, again, sorry, not $2, but this was $5, I think. So Nuka-Cola shirt. And then I actually posted it. I think I posted it on EB Games, or I saw Kevin's post about his $5 Friday finds, and then he actually told me that EB Games was running a promo on this. So Sonic the Hedgehog Funko t-shirt, and what it was different sizes were $9.99 instead of $34.99. So the medium and large were still $34.99, and you had to find one in store. So I actually went to the other EB Games in Guelph, and they had one, and they had an XL, which I shrunk. And so anyways, you get the box, you get the shirt. So this is a Sonic the Hedgehog shirt, and the XL fit nice after I shrunk it. So Sonic the Hedgehog 91, I don't know if you can see that. And then I didn't even realize it comes with a Funko Pop. I don't know why. It's a Funko shirt. Of course it's going to come with a Funko Pop, but it comes with a kind of a metallic looking Sonic the Hedgehog with a ring. So again, don't collect Funkos, but I mean, I'll take it if it's included. And then while I was there, they had $2 shirts. So this is a $2 Star Wars shirt. So Chewie is my co-pilot. So for $2, yeah, I will take that. Not that I need any more shirts. But so that was all EB Games stuff. So that actually worked out really well. Oh, and then I also got a Star Wars water container, like a really nice, I don't know what they're called. They almost look like those brand name ones, but it's a big clear container. It's got the Millennium Falcon on it. So it's for the Solo movie. This is normally like $20, which I can't imagine paying. So it was $5. So I got that. I can use that at volleyball. Although volleyball's over, but I can use it in the summer. So that was Friday night. And then I was speaking with Gamer Alley on Instagram, and he actually said, oh yeah, he was going out to garage sales the next day, and I guess I hadn't really checked the postings in Guelph, but I did, and there was 2 garage sales in Guelph. So I decided to get up around 7:30 and go to those. They weren't opening till 8 or 8:30. So I got to one, and basically the first one I went to was in the south end of Guelph, and there was a guy there who I've run into before. He was holding an N64 game in his hand, and he found it in a pile of DVDs. I asked him about it. He said he found it. I asked him what it was. He said, I'm not telling you, which is just weird. I was like, okay. So then the owner came out. She really was putting stuff out on the fly. I said, do you have any video games? I listed off some stuff. She's like, oh yeah, they're out here somewhere, or they're in the house somewhere. I'll go get them. So I was like, okay. So this guy was standing around waiting. Actually, another person showed up to look for video games and heard my spiel, and they left as soon as they heard me. So anyway, she came out of the house with a bin and a bag, and she put the bag on the ground, and I had a quick look, and I could tell it was like 360 titles. There's some white cases for Wii games, and then she put the bin down. I saw a PSP, which is right here. So it was actually in a case. So PSP 1000, I'm told. So I did charge it yesterday. Curious if it still held the charge up. So works totally fine. No bonus game in it, which is, that's fine. And when she saw that she saw that I had this, she's like, oh, I have games, I'll go get them. So I'm like, all right. So she went in the house, and she put down she put down the bag. I had a quick look at the bag, and I grabbed what I could see while the other guy was flipping through the end. So nothing exciting. Game Party 3 complete. Game looks scratched all the hell. Cruisin' for Wii. So this is based on the old N64 arcade titles. Cruisin' from Williams Midway. This actually should be a decent game, so I'm going to keep that. And then a copy of Wii Play. So I grabbed those. Kind of had my little pile going. Then on the ground, I actually saw a Wii charging cable and AV cords. So I grabbed those. So I held them. And in my head, I was thinking, there's probably a Wii coming out. And I was right. So she came out with a Wii, holding a Wii and the games, and so I promptly took the Wii from her. It's trash, but it works. So it's missing covers and everything. Actually had a spare cover, so I've already put that back on. Anyway, so I grabbed the Wii. I grabbed the 2 PSP games she had, which was Ratchet and Clank, Size Matters, which I already own complete, so this is for sale, and Medal of Honor Heroes 2. So I grabbed those. And I hadn't negotiated a price at this point. And then she had a Wii remote as well with it, which works. So Wii remote. And then she actually had a Xbox 360 wireless adapter. So anyway, I had this stuff in my hand. I said, what do you want for it? And I had money out. I was going to throw her 20, and she actually went 40. She went way high. So I was like, no, I was thinking more like 20. And I showed her the money, and she was like, well, how about 25? So I was like, fine. So anyway, as I'm saying this, the other guy, he says, did you check your games to make sure the games are in there? And I said, yeah, I checked them already. And so he holds up Mario Party 8, and he goes, for Wii, and he goes, oh yeah, he goes, the one good game in there, and it's empty. And I'm like, oh, that's too bad. And in my head, I'm thinking, I just bought the Wii. I have the power cords, and I think I know where that Mario Party 8 is. So I actually went to another garage sale, but the point is, when I got home, I plugged the Wii in, turned on fine. There's Mario Party 8 logo flashing, and I couldn't remember if the Wii tells you the last game that was in or what's in. So I hit the eject button, and sure enough, Mario Party 8 pops out. So that was cool. So I got the game. He had the empty case. So worked out really well. So first garage sale of the morning. So Mario Party 8 is the point. So it's a pretty decent title. I, of course, don't have the case, but whatever. And then I went to one other garage sale, the only other garage sale in Guelph, and, you know, did my spiel about video games. She's like, no, we don't have any. You're the third person to ask, which I find surprising because it's only the first day of garage selling in Guelph. You're the third person to ask. And then she says, well, my husband has a bunch of stuff. Maybe I should ask him. And I was like, well, yeah. You don't know. I didn't say, well, yeah, but anyway, I went and asked her husband. He's like, yeah, no, I do have a bunch of PS2 and PS3 stuff. And what are you looking for? And I said, oh, you know, whatever, anything like that. So do you have anything older? No. Anyway, so here I am, the third person to ask for video games. But he went in the house for me, and he came out with one. Nothing exciting. Battlefield 4 for Xbox One. $3. Anyway, so just funny, you know, like, if other people had asked, I shouldn't be the one buying video games because he didn't have anything, apparently. So that was cool. So 2 garage sales. I went back to the church sale just to see if they'd restocked anything. They hadn't. So that was kind of the end of garage selling, but success. 2 for 2, I guess you could say, with select titles. Anyway, and then today was the Kitchener Toy Show. So I went to that, and actually the very first thing I bought, not the very first thing I bought, I should say, well, again, some $5 NES titles. So Sky Shark for Nintendo, another common title. Legacy of the Wizard, and Million Secret Castle. So those were $5 each. There wasn't too many video game vendors this time around. Then I went over to this other toy collector. Talked to Simon, Relics and Retro, for a while, but then went over to the other side of the venue and actually got, I can't believe this, 1980 Snowspeeder. It's complete. It's missing the stickers, whatever. I have almost bought this numerous times for well over $60. So the canopy's there, the harpoon gun's there, all the parts and everything. So I had this when I was a kid, and I sold it. I kept all my figures, but I sold my vehicles. Not that I had a lot of vehicles. Anyway, so $30. I couldn't believe it. So really glad to add that to the collection. And I've ordered reproduction stickers to put on it from eBay. So they were like $8 for the stickers. So that's going to look pretty awesome. So yeah, really nice shape. It's got the landing foot and everything. All the parts are here. Original harpoon, original rope. So this is exactly the one I had when I was a kid. So awesome find. Then I actually went to another vendor, and he had 2 things. This is really cool. 1994 Super Mario Kart Luigi keychain, sealed. I'll probably keep it that way, although that is pretty awesome. And then he also had just a loose, trying to add to my Star Wars collection, so an FX7 droid, medical droid, I believe. I'm going to screw up his name. He is broken. $4 though. He's missing his arm right here. And he has all of his other arms. So that was cool. So I got that from him. And then went to another vendor, and he had Family Fun Fitness, not the expensive one, but the cheap one. Athletic World. It's in really nice shape. It's super clean. 5-screw. So I didn't have this. At first I was like, oh my god, because I did a joking post about it when I was in Vegas, and I was like, oh my god, it's the game. And it's not. This is the cheap title. The other one's the $10,000 title. Anyway, pretty cool. It's in really nice shape. So I added that to the collection. And then one more vendor on my way out. He had like a bin. I always check the bins underneath the tables and stuff. So 1989 DC Superpowers Robin. This isn't overly valuable, but this is a $1. So Robin, really clean looking. And then this is cool. If I can open it again, a Micro Machines. Probably not gonna just open it. Somehow open. Yeah, so Micro Machines Batman. This is from like 95, so it opens up into a little mini playset. And this one actually has the figures in it. So there's Batman, Two-Face, a little motorbikes. There's Batman. You can probably see that. Little bat. I don't know what that is. Bat scooter. Two-Face. Can't focus on that. Anyway, yeah. So it's a little playset that opens up. It's $5. Little trapdoor and stuff. Anyway, kind of cool. I thought it would actually be worth more, to be honest with you, when I grabbed it, but Yeah, for $5. I like these little Micro Machine sets. So yeah, cool Batman. It's really clean looking. So I think that was it. If you noticed behind me, I put some of the older games that I picked up last week or two up on the shelf. I forgot to talk about, I got a Pac-Man. It's actually a Pac-Man board game or kids game, but it goes nicely with my Pac-Man pinball machine, so I added that to the collection. Oh, and then the other thing too about today was I took some double Funko Pops I had of Wizard of Oz characters, so I actually made $50 again today. That was my point, selling stuff from my box out of the back of my van. So yeah, just, you know, Barrie ended up selling stuff from that box, took it again to the toy show. I actually forgot a couple of things, like I forgot Gandalf the Grey. I was going to try and sell him. Forgot the Polly Pocket. But anyway, I took the box and I had these 3 extra Funko Pops. Wizard of Oz Funko Pops go for silly money. So I sold them for $50. Anyway, so kind of covered all my expensive. I had bought those at for $1.99 at Value Village. So if you ever see Wizard of Oz Funko Pops, they are incredibly valuable. The guy I sold them to said that someone sold the entire set for $800. So I mean, I've sold Dorothy loose for $100 before, and then these two now for $50, Scarecrow and Tin Man. So yeah, overall good finds. I mean, obviously spending money, but canceling it out, or however you want to call that, but trying to justify it in my own head. The only other thing I was going to mention, I don't have anything to show, is that Saturday was record store day. So my wife and I, she has a pretty big vinyl collection. I kind of go along with it. But I actually ended up getting Kevin Hearn from Bare Naked Ladies superhero album. So it's all comic book theme songs. It's a picture disc. It's got a comic book. It's limited edition to 500. There's only $15, and all the music goes to support music charity. So yeah, mine was number 426 out of 500. So I actually was really excited. Like, I'd seen posts about it, but it was cool to actually get one. So I haven't opened it up yet, but it looks pretty awesome. So she got a couple other albums as well, but yeah, so that was cool. So a lot of stuff, but like I said, a lot of this, but some of these things are for sale, and hoping to kind of continue and get garage sale season into full swing. Next weekend is Easter, so I don't recall there being great garage sales on Easter weekend, but we'll see. Keep an eye on what's going on. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. If you like these videos, be sure to click like and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. That's where I post most of my stuff that I find kind of day to day, but I like to do these summary videos at the end. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.